Hello, everyone. My name is Allison Apaza, and I am your instructor for this course. I wanted to explain a few things about this class to hopefully clarify some issues before we run into them and make this whole process a little bit easier for you, hopefully. So I am unsure of what books were ordered specifically for this course. I know there's been some confusion about that. So I wanted to clarify what you're actually going to need. So you will need the textbook, which is the Principles of Coding, and you'll need the workbook. So, and those are both the 2022 edition. And then you will also need the ICD-10 CM manual. So you'll need these things for sure. I know there are other books that are listed on there. There's a Bucks test prep book, and there's another textbook that also includes PCS coding, and there will be some readings from those, but they're not going to be mandatory. The main thing you need is the main textbook, which is, again, that Principles of ICD-10 coding. And then the workbook by the same name. Okay. And I think both of those are listed as the 4th edition. But for sure, you will need the ICD-10 CM manual. There's also a manual called the ICD-10 PCS. You will not need that. It'll be referenced, but you do not need that because the whole point of this class and the CPT course is to get you prepared to take the national exam in December, and that does not cover the PCS manual. It only covers the ICD-10 CM manual, as well as the CPT and HCPCS, which we'll get into in another class. But for all that you need to know for this course is you'll need the textbook, the workbook, and the manual. With the manual, I know there has also been some confusion about this from the bookstore. So you might have seen this manual listed as available. This is from the AMA, and perfectly good manual. If you have it, that's great. You'll be fine with it. You will see me primarily use the Bucks, which looks like this. Again, it's 2022 ICD-10 CM. They're the same thing. So it's just different illustrations, a few different like notes and things like that. It's laid out just slightly differently, but you're going to see the same notes or the same codes in both. Okay. So if I will be posting a lot of videos for this course to hopefully help clarify some of the issues we're going to run into, and you'll mainly see me use this manual. But just be aware that if you have this one, it'll be fine. There are just a few little differences. So I wanted to show those to you first. So I will be posting a video about how to tab your manual, and that uses the Bucks version. It uses this green book. You can still follow it for this one, just the page numbers will be slightly different. But what you will still need is little sticky tabs like these and highlighter and pen. Those are the main things we use when we work in this manual, okay? But I wanted to show you a couple of the differences that are here in this manual. Still has a table of contents. It's very useful. This page, it starts on Roman numeral page 5, has some really great information about how to use the manual. I would definitely reference this often because it is very helpful. And then it also has in here the lists of different conventions. And the main differences I'm seeing between the green book and this book is how they show you if additional characters are required and if a placeholder is required. Okay, and when you watch the other video, this will make more sense, but I just wanted to draw your attention to it now. So you can see here, these are the two things I'm talking about. So in the Bucks manual, this is a red stop sign. And this is a red X. Okay, so I would make a note of that if you are using this manual, because that's the main difference that you're going to see. There are a few other minor things, but those are the main things. Okay. Otherwise, it is laid out very, very similarly. We still have the guidelines also on here on page 10, 56, 7. Sorry, I'm not great at Roman numerals. Roman numeral page 17. There's also steps for coding, and this could also be very helpful. There's also a notes page. So you'll see in some of my videos, I do talk about taking notes in your manual. You absolutely should. The way that I usually do it is I make a table of contents for myself and I write notes all the way through the manual. Anytime I can find a blank page, I'm writing notes that help me better code or understand different conventions and things like that. And so then I just keep a table of contents pretty early on in the book, maybe on one of these first pages, like right here, I might do it, have a table of contents for my notes, but you'll see in the other videos how I do it. But again, I mainly use the bucks, so it'll look slightly different. Here on page 1 is where we get started with the guidelines, and we will use this extensively in this course. And when you're coding, everything is based on the guidelines, and there will be a lot of videos referencing guidelines. I just want you to understand that the way we reference guidelines, regardless of which manual you have, is the same. So I don't want there to be any confusion about that. If I reference a specific guideline and I'm going to use certain letters and numbers to do that. So let me write an example here. So if I say this is the guideline we're looking at, 1A5 or 1.A.5, however I say it, regardless of which manual you are using, it's going to be the same thing in here. So we have 1A5. No matter which manual, if you have this one or the Bucks or it's a different publisher, it's still going to be the same guideline. Guidelines don't change. And then you will see the rest of the manual is pretty much exactly the same. We still have, they're just going to be on different pages. So if you do run into some trouble when you are watching my tabbing video and you can't find certain things, please reach out to me. I'm very, very happy to list the right pages for this manual if that's super helpful for you. But if not, you know, we don't have to do that. But it's the rest of the manual is exactly the same. It's just going to be different page numbers if you are using the AMA versus the Bucks. Okay. Or if you have any other publisher besides Bucks. So I wanted to clarify that first. Other things I wanted you to be prepared for. We do have case studies in this course that are required each week except for week 1. Those are going to use your workbook and they are all multiple choice and they do not have time limits. If you run into any trouble with those, because those are pre-made case studies, please let me know if a code has been deleted or something like that and we can work through it together. But that will require the use of your workbook. So if you don't have the workbook, you are going to need it. Otherwise, every week we do have a discussion where you can post your current questions, concerns, anything like that. Just please try to keep it focused on what we've learned in the course up until then. If you are already a coder or you work in coding, please don't post questions from your work because 1, it'll confuse everybody else, and 2, I don't have full information. So I'm not going to be able to answer that effectively. So, but otherwise you can post anything you want. You can post anything about what we've learned in class, any of your concerns about national exam, how to use the manual, anything like that. And that is what those discussions are for every week. And every week has the exact same question. So it's very broad and you can post whatever it is that you would like to post. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of do this together. I'm going to be here every step of the way and try to make this a really positive experience for you. We are on a very, very, very short timeline to cover such a huge amount of material. So I have tried to streamline things, but it is going to require an incredible amount of self-study and practicing on your own. That's just kind of the nature when you're doing just an 8-week class. Normally, I would do this in 16 weeks or more, just because there is a lot to get through. But I will also be posting a ton of videos. I will be posting other resources because I am not someone who is real proprietary. I don't think I have the best way to explain everything. There might be a better way to explain something. And so I will direct you to other videos and other instructors and other web pages and stuff like that. I'm very happy to share that. But if you do run into trouble or are just super confused, everything I say is Greek, please reach out, post it in the class discussion board, and we'll tackle it together. All right, that is all I have for you for now. And please keep a lookout for the other instructor videos. Thank you.